There's one question missing from the ICE conversation. Not a moral question, not a political one, a measurement question. And until it's asked, the conversation stays emotional, loud, and incomplete. You're gonna like this, so like and share this video. Most ICE coverage follows a predictable pattern. Enforcement footage, children and women with sad faces, detention centers, families reacting in fear and grief in real time. Or they show counterframings to spark arguments. What all of that framing has in common is this. It focuses on moments, not systems, not solutions, and not the innocent victims, which for the past 40 years became the collateral damage that no one speaks about or will even acknowledge. You see, immigration isn't only an enforcement issue. It's also a story about labor markets, housing demands, the quality of public school educations, and local budgets. But those stories don't come with dramatic footage, so they rarely, if ever, lead the conversation. Here's the question that almost never gets asked plainly. What group of people are hurt the most by illegal immigration? And I mean hurt analytically, not morally. And here's the uncomfortable answer to that question said very clearly. The group described as the group most hurt are mostly Black Americans. Yep, Black folks are the people that have been disproportionately and negatively impacted and severely hurt by illegal immigration for over 40 years so far. And Black people have been, and seemingly remain to be, the acceptable collateral damage of illegal immigration that everyone has learned to ignore and even deny. It's unavoidable if you work in lower wage work, with little bargaining power, and live in communities where schools and hospitals are already stretched, because that's where added pressure to the system shows up faster and harder. Don't get me wrong, this doesn't apply only to Blacks. While this has been silently happening to the Black community over the past 40 years, over the past 10 years, low-income whites in parts of the Midwest and Northeast in similar job tiers have been experiencing that same squeeze. Has anyone noticed the jobs that teenagers used in the 80s and 90s to earn money from high school through college have all but been taken up by grown adults? Now let's talk about money, because framing matters here too. One widely cited estimate puts the annual cost of illegal immigration at around $150 billion each year. In $20 bills, that amount of cash would take up 6,600 pallets, which would take roughly 255 full semi-trucks to move. That's a massive convoy of semis every year. Imagine using that same $150 billion that we use on providing services to illegal immigrants each year, and instead using that in a once-a-year national housing lottery. And for this lottery, each year we're going to split this $150 billion into 3 buckets. And because the $150 billion is already accounting for taxes, we can make the winnings tax-free. Bucket 1 would be equivalent to 50% of the $150 billion of winnings to distribute. That's $75 billion. From this bucket, $500,000 will be given to families that earn less than $250,000 per year, have a net worth less than $1 million, are not homeowners, and this money would be awarded to be used solely towards the buying a home. That would fund awarding this amount to 150,000 families every year. That's not symbolic, that's generational. Bucket 2, 30% of the money would go to this bucket. That's $45 billion. This would be for families that own one home only, have no other properties, and are currently paying on that mortgage. Winners in this category would receive up to $200,000 toward the balance owed on their home. These winnings would reach a minimum of 225,000 families each year. Bucket 3, the remaining 20%, the remaining $30 billion. Well, for families that do not have and do not live in their own home, are legal citizens, and do have a criminal record, because we are the most charitable nation of people on earth, we will use that money to award families in this category $250,000 towards the purchase of a home. At $250,000 per family, this would get in the hands of 120,000 families per year. Added up, 150,000 households buying homes, 225,000 paying down mortgages, 120,000 getting a fresh start. That's nearly 500,000 families every single year. Again, this is not a formal recommendation, but I share it just as an example of scale and what could be done with the same exact dollar amount every year. So here's the question. Why don't we hear the media ask loudly and consistently, who is most hurt by illegal immigration? And what else could this money be spent on? Those aren't radical questions. They're basic accountability questions. But I'd rather hear from you. Why do you think the media doesn't push these questions? And why doesn't the media ask politicians to answer these questions directly? Because regardless of the answer, when you ask who is most impacted, the conversation has to change. ICE stops being just about agents and enforcement. ICE becomes more about labor competition, housing scarcity, school capacity, time horizons, and who is getting hurt, while politicians do everything but stopping that pain and preventing more collateral damage. When you answer that question, you don't get a slogan, you get clarity. Big public debates don't usually lack passion. They lack full framing and good faith. If parts of this made you agree, disagree, or stop and think, that's all that matters to me. Leave a comment with your perspective, not to win an argument, just to share and allow others to see another piece that makes up the whole picture. Like and share this video with someone that you care about, or with someone you want to talk about this topic with, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the comment and in the next video.